health and safety. Craig Newman is the Ranshow's director. He joins us now in studio for a bit more on this. Mr. Newman, thanks very much for your time. Once again, really a moment that nobody would have really foresaw, at least at, the start of the outbreak in China. Take us through some of your specific reasons for calling off what many South Africans look forward to every year.
Yeah, and this is truly extraordinary times in our country, as we were chatting about earlier on. And, Ranshow, we've got to play our part in supporting the call from the President. And the President has called for unity, he's called for patriotism, and he's called for understanding that we need to help to ensure that this pandemic doesn't run out of control in our country, and we need to curb it. So as tough a decision it was, we had to call the Ranshow off for now and see at an appropriate time when we can reschedule.
And we'll talk about some of those details and the considerations in just a moment. I'm interested, though, in the kind of messaging that you think other event organizers should be sending out, especially those who are a bit more worried about what would be the economic impact of a move like this, right? It appears that in some people's minds, that cost might trump, whatever else the effects of continuing with the event might have. What kind of messaging do you think they need to remember as, of course, various organizations come to the party, as you alluded to?
I think it's simple. Public health and safety comes first, no matter what you do, irrespective of which industry you're in. And in our industry, yes, we put so much into putting these events together. Ranshow's a year-round planning event, but public health and safety has got to come first. So, you can see worldwide the trend. There are many, many, many major events being closed and postponed and some even cancelled around the world. So, here in South Africa, we can't afford to be different. We've got to understand that we need to ensure that our people are safe and healthy first, and then we can put on these great events that they can come out and enjoy.
And how far-reaching are the implications for calling this off, even temporarily? I mean, if it takes about a year to put this together, calling it off so close to the date must also have quite far-reaching effects.
Yeah, 100%. Look, the impact, there are so many people who are dependent on the Ranshow, exhibitors, service providers, small businesses, people who come out there and this is part of their annual income just by what they try to sell at the Ranshow. So there are many, many people dependent on it. But I think if we don't keep our communities healthy and keep our families safe, we're not going to have a market to create for people to come and trade. So, yes, it's going to be tough. It's economically tough. We pray to God it doesn't take a year, because that will just be detrimental on our country. We can't afford these major incidences worldwide to continue so long in our country. We've already got so much that's impacting our economy. So we pray it doesn't take so long, but we've got to just do what we can to make sure we contribute to curb the pandemic, to keep it controlled and keep it limited.
And that brings me to my next question, which is how far off can you stave this before things really, really get difficult? And I say really, really as if that adds any emphasis, because things are difficult as it stands, But how far back do you think you can push it before, we're seeing sort of irreparable damage, so to speak?
Yeah, it's a difficult question to answer. We've got to really be in the hands of our government here and our health department, and we'll go on their advice on when we can open up things again. And if needs be, hopefully it doesn't get to that, we'll have to push it out for a year if that's what it requires. But we hope it wouldn't. Let's be positive. I think we've done a lot as a country already to ensure that we try and limit the spread of this virus, and we try and keep the pandemic as low as possible. It's made major impact already. But obviously, as you can see, everybody's working together to ensure that we keep this thing limited. So let's hope and pray that it doesn't go on for longer than 4, 5, 6 months,
But I'm sure there's kind of consideration about when you're hoping you might be able to, resume operations, so to speak. Is there a tentative date that you're looking forward to? For instance, the schools, in the midst of the uncertainty, are hoping to be back in operations by April. Considering the kind of planning that goes into this, are any dates being thrown around at the moment yet?
Not yet. I think it's a little bit too soon for us. And I know you're trying to get me to commit to a date, but no, not yet. But yeah, we're hoping not longer than 3 months. I mean, I think let's be realistic. I don't think we're going to be able to have total control of this pandemic within the next month or two. So we're hoping within the next 3 months we can reassess the situation, and then we can look at pegging a date in the ground and creating an event that all South Africans can come out and enjoy with their families without fear.
Absolutely. And hopefully this has also opened up an opportunity of, I guess, treating mass gatherings like those that typically happen during the RAN show differently insofar as, health and safety are concerned. But we'll leave things there for now. Thank you very much for sharing with us what you can, considering, of course, how unprecedented this moment is in many respects. Craig Newman is, of course, the CEO of Johannesburg Expo Centre as well as director of the RAN show. Thanks once again for your time.
Thank you, Ayanda. Thanks for having me on your show this morning.